Watch this video, I want you to let you guys know I made an error. I was referring to Mayorkas in this video, and it just dawned on me. It's Department of Health and Human Services. And I was saying how it didn't make me feel good if it was Mayorkas that was involved in this, but this make me feel even worse because this is the head of Health and Human Services. Oh, my goodness. But I want to correct that up front so nobody won't be like, Del Waters, you got it wrong. I can get stuff wrong. I ain't perfect. You ain't perfect either. Go look in the mirror. Hold on one second. We about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we doing over here, baby. Let's go. I said that Donald didn't need to be having no rallies. I said that Donald need to have a private inauguration. And here comes James O'Keefe, a well-known investigative journalist, proving the exact same point that I said. We about to react to this together. We got to take a listen to this, man. Hold on.
An internal memo from the Veterans Administration surfaced containing an unusual request: support for the upcoming presidential inauguration. A high-level source inside the Department of Veterans Affairs has disclosed a memo from the Executive Director, Office of the Emergency Management within Veterans Affairs. The source inside the VA said the source deployment request did not occur for the last two inaugurations. We spoke to the source inside the VA to ask if this is something that's typical. So can you just talk a minute about this being typical or not typical within the VA? Them doing these sorts of things for the past few inaugurations?
What concerned me was that this has never been requested before, especially not from HHS. What we have, what I saw to me was a little bit unnerving. I've been in the VA for several inaugurations, and this was the first time they have ever asked for DEMS personnel.
First time they've ever asked for personnel?
For an inauguration, yes.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. That's why I decided to send that memo to you, because I believe that there's something unnerving about it. I'm not 100% sure.
All right, stop, pause. Why the hell does this sound like AI? I'm sorry. Just think only you're going to keep it 100% with you. But why does this sound like AI? As a person who deals with AI voices a lot, I want to know why this sounds like AI. We're going to keep listening to it.
But my gut says this is not normal, and it's not.
The memo details a formal request from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response, or ASPR. It calls upon the Veterans Administration to provide critical medical support for the event. Specifically, they sought the deployment of paramedics, registered nurses with expertise in emergency and medical surgical care, and licensed medical practitioners, including MD.
Hold on. We got to be a little bit more. December 10th, 2024. Memorandum, Department of Veteran Affairs. The purpose of this memorandum is to request 2 paramedics, 2 registered nurses, and 2 doctors of medicine, doctors of osteopathic medicine, nurse practitioners, physical assistants, ED, ER, to support the presidential inauguration at Washington, D.C. on January 17th to the 21st. Purpose: to request 2 paramedics, 2 registered nurses, 2 doctors of medicine. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Strategic Preparedness Response, ASPR, has requested the Veterans Health Administration support the president's inauguration with the above professionals as part of the National Disaster Medicine System. The deployment rotation will last up to 5 days, January 17th through January 20th. This includes 1 day for outbound travel, 3 working days, and 1 day for return travel. Requirements: volunteers for the mission must be a U.S. citizen and will be required to submit personally identifiable information to be used for a background check and credentials by U.S. Secret Service. Volunteers will need to submit a copy of BLS, ACLS certification, current curriculum vitae, resume for fill out a national disaster medical system release for licensing verification. All physicians must be currently working in emergency care, must current DEA, BLS, and ACLS certifications. The purpose of this memorandum is to request 2 paramedics, 2 registered nurses, and 2 doctors of medicine. All right. I slow it down. I'm sorry. So now in context, we know what the actual document said. We're not just going off the, ooh, it's scary.
Provide critical medical support for the event. Specifically, they sought the deployment of paramedics, registered nurses with expertise in
Okay, must be category 1 or 2. HHS will arrange for paying invitational travel for DEMPS team members. OMA will pay for DEMPS team members overtime while deployment to this mission. Request VISA review their capabilities, paramedics, registered nurses, emergency room surgeons, ED, ER, and submit names. All right.
emergency and medical surgical care, and licensed medical practitioners, including MDs, DOs, NPs, PAs, specializing in emergency medicine. The memo is signed by Derek Justad, who is the executive director for the VHA Office of Emergency Management. We ask, is this...
All right. Dear Dr. Paul Kim, and to whom it may concern, OMG is in receipt of the enclosed memorandum for support deployment request for the upcoming presidential inauguration. I would like to confirm with you if this is normal protocol or if there is a specific reason for this request ahead of the inauguration. Looking forward to your response. We will be reporting this tomorrow, so your comment is requested today. James O'Keefe.
request part of a standard protocol for inaugurations, or is there a specific reason for the heightened medical readiness? We sent an email to the email address provided on the memo, and we have not yet heard back. We also gave a call to the executive director himself, Jasad.
This is Derek.
Hi, Derek Justad.
Yes.
Hi there. You wrote a memo dated December 10th, distributed internally, and it was said urgent, and you were talking about preparations for the inauguration. I'd like to ask you a few questions about the memo.
How can I help?
A source within the VA has told us that it's quite unusual. Is it typical that you guys out of the Office of Emergency Management deploy these resources for a presidential inauguration?
I can't speak to every, but 2 out of at least the last 3, I want to say 3 out of the last 4.
Well, the source inside the VA is saying that this has not been done for previous inaugurations.
I can't help what the source within the VA has chimed or has claimed, but that is not the case. And indeed, we have supported presidential inaugurations previously. And I would refer you to the Assistant Secretary for Preparedness Response at the Department of Health and Human Services to attest to that fact.
Can you send me the previous memos?
Yeah, I would refer you to the FOIA office, Freedom of Information, as I do not have access to materials going back that far.
We filed a FOIA request last week.
Okay, great.
But that's going to take months, if not a year, to receive. We also submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the Department of Health and Human Services to confirm whether this level of medical support is standard procedure. We have not heard back. So what I'm trying to ascertain is if, and I know this is something that you don't know, is whether or not this is something that happens for each inauguration. Do you know who could help me answer that question?
Yes, VHA Communications.
So you guys have done this during the last inauguration with Joe Biden, the first inauguration of President Trump in 2017. The Obama before that. You guys have done this in the past several inaugurations, you're saying?
I personally can't speak to previous inaugurations.
So why is this specific presidential inauguration generating a request for such a significant deployment of medical personnel?
I don't know that 2 people is a significant deployment, but unless I misread this, guys, let me see if I can find the actual document. I mean, maybe we misread it. Maybe I'm not reading this crap right. All right. The purpose of this memorandum is to request two. It used the word 2 paramedics, 2 registered nurses, 2 doctors of medicine. Yeah. All physicians must be due to specific vetting requirements. Let's see what this. Network and medical centers directors must ensure DEMPS volunteers comply with the Employee Occupational Health Guidebook. Personal deployment for this mission must be Category 1 or 2. HHS, Homeland Security, will arrange and pay for. That would be concerning to me, that Homeland Security is the one that's in charge. Who's the head of Homeland Security right now? Let's just see. Oh, that's your head of Homeland Security. So what you're telling me is you're getting 2 nurses, 2 doctors, 2 surgeons, 2 all this stuff from the Veteran Affairs Department, and they're going directly under the orders of this thing right here. It don't sound to me like we're about to have something massive happen, but it definitely sounds to me like something's going to happen that will be staged enough to where these doctors and nurses and everybody is under control. But nonetheless, I still stand on what I said. Donald Trump don't need to be doing no damn no public inauguration. I'm sorry. I don't believe it's necessary. Let me go back to what James O'Keefe was saying.
Specific presidential inauguration generating a request for such a significant deployment of medical personnel. Does the Department of Health and Human Services have information regarding a potential event or risk on that day? What is the purpose behind all of this? Now, if you're a source inside the federal government, the time to provide information or come forward is now.
I agree.
The American public deserves clarity on matters such as these. Transparency builds trust, which is vital. The democratic process. Reach out to us on our Signal account at 914-491-9395 or tips at o'keefemediagroup.com, and stay tuned.
Hey, I give the man props. I mean, I think every rabbit hole needs to be chased down. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what this dude.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. First, y'all need to go read the Supreme Court's letter, the end-of-year letter, in which they state that the rulings by the Supreme Court must be honored because they haven't been. I'm pretty sure they're talking about Joe Biden and student loan debt forgiveness, or Judge Merchan as he's about to sentence Donald Trump against what the Supreme Court said. But this lawfare that you guys were okay with under Biden, are you going to be okay with it under Trump?
Yeah, I don't think we need to discuss that. That just needs to pop off. You know what I'm saying? That just needs to pop off. So James O'Keefe comes out with this, and I'm not necessarily saying, I'm gonna say the thing that was strange to me was that was an AI voice. I'm sorry, that was an AI voice. You know what I'm saying? Point blank. Period. I know AI voices. And what it sounds like to me is going on with this, and you're going to hear people talking about this, if not now, in the next couple of hours. What it sounds like to me is he got a hint of something that could be going wrong, because we don't know. They could be trying to get people from different departments and mustering together a team to do something, and he's getting out ahead of it, and this exposure could slow something down. But again, it's real easy. No rally, no public inauguration. This is what my suggestion is for Donald Trump. Go get inaugurated privately. Don't tell nobody nothing. Start signing your executive orders. Take over everything. Institute your rule of law. I mean, just do it real quick. You be like 20, 30 minutes late for the inauguration. Everybody be waiting on you. You're a few minutes late. Take command. Make sure that you have command. Then come out on stage. You understand what I'm saying? But do it privately. Get command, bruh. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have command, you got problems on your hand. Get command, dog. and then come out and do what you do. Then after you got command, after your rally, have your party, bada da bada bing, bada boom, rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, undo what Joe Biden did with his whole, we're going to ban oil drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, bitch, it's not the Gulf of Mexico anymore. It's the Gulf of America. So your ban is no longer relevant because we renamed the whole Gulf, which is why he's renaming the whole Gulf. If y'all haven't figured that out, I think I said it yesterday. I'll say it again today and get the ball rolling. But I feel like we're at a time of extreme risk. And then when you add in the fact that they reported that 50,000 pounds of fertilizer went missing. Hold on. Let me get that for you. When you factor in stuff like this, Dynamo Noble, Union Pacific investigated missing ammonium nitrate. Dyno Noble Inc. and rail officials are investigating how 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate pellets manufactured by the company disappeared from a rail car and never arrived at its destination in April of 2023. Union Pacific was transporting the chemical, which is commonly found in fertilizer and explosives used in mining from Cheyenne, Wyoming to Saltdale, California. The incident does not appear to be the result of criminal or malicious activity. Kristen South, Senior Director of Corporate Communications and Media Relations for Union Pacific, said in a statement, instead it appears to be that a leak developed on the bottom gate of the rail car while in transit, slowly dispensing pellets along the tracks during the journey, according to the statement released by Dynamo Noble spokesperson. Oh, really? So you trying to tell me y'all just had a train just riding and y'all just dumped 60,000 pounds of fertilizer slowly all over, what was this, California? That's what you're trying to tell me? And I'm boo-boo the foo-foo? Let's see what this article says. California officials investigating the loss of 30-ton shipment of explosive chemicals. So we got 30 tons of fertilizer missing from 2023. We got a prophet who came out and said that people were using fertilizer to make gigantic bombs. We combine that with the fact that something is going on with the Department of Veteran Affairs and HHS. And the thing that makes me really concerned about this is, where's this guy? Where's my ex? Is him. This one guy makes me nervous. The head of Homeland Security. That man right there. That one right there. That's the one that makes me worry. That man right there. If this man wasn't in place, I'd be like, maybe we'll be all right, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it will work out okay. Maybe things will be just fine. But I'm not feeling like things going to be just fine with homie involved. Yes, sir. I believe we have a problem on our hands. This is my belief. I have the right to speak my belief. The pieces to the puzzle don't really add up. 2 doctors, 2 nurses, 2 EMS people, and don't really add up unless those 6 people are going to be deployed directly next to Donald Trump and something going to happen and they're going to whack him. You know what I'm saying? They're going to swap out some people, but we don't know. But I tell you what, y'all need to be praying that any bombs that's supposed to be explode before they leave where they're going. You dig? All right, I'm out of here.